So a question that comes up a lot is, why am I being targeted? My first answer is I don't think I'm really being specifically targeted because I didn't do anything to harm anybody. I think for most people, I'm a nice person. I'd like to think I'm a nice person. I get along with most people. I'm honest. So why are they coming after me? I don't think they're necessarily coming after me as much as they're trying to make an example of me so that they can keep everybody else in line. But there was an event that kind of was the catalyst for this whole thing. It's a little bit nerdy, a little bit accounting. Our controller division, a big part of that is that we honestly report our financial position of the county. And it's my job to make sure they're honest and true. They created a new benefit, brand new benefit out of thin air. It's called a post-retirement medical trust. What it is a way to pay for health expenses after the employee's gone, which is fine. Most counties have it. I have no problem with it. The rumor is that I opposed it, and that's not true. Another rumor is I voted against it. That's definitely not true because I don't get a vote. What is true is I had a problem with the way they set it up. The way it was set up has been done no place else in California, as far as I can tell, anywhere in the country. This is a brand new way of doing it so that the true liability is hidden from the people, hidden from, and kept off the financial statements. And that's where I had a problem. And I have a problem with that for two reasons. First, the obvious reason is that it doesn't honestly represent the financial position of the county. It is leaving off a giant liability. A liability, I believe, is in the billions of dollars. Because when you make a promise to people, you make a promise to a 20-year-old, you're going to pay for their medical care until the day they die. That's a big promise. And they're not going to be employed for you. You could be 40 years in retirement that you're being promised as part of your employment. There is no money set aside for this. There's two ways you can do this. If you make a promise to an employee for a benefit that you're not yet giving them, you can either A, fund it properly, that's how pensions work, or B, at least recognize that there is a liability. Put it on the financial statement. You hire actuarial professionals that look at the promise and estimate how much it's worth, and we put that on the financial statement so that everybody knows that that money is owed to the employees. The better way, of course, is to fund it so that when the time comes that the employee needs to draw their benefit that they spent their whole lifetime working for, that there's actually money to back it. Imagine a pension that has no money. It wouldn't be a very effective, good pension, and it wouldn't provide anybody financial security. That's all I was saying, is that if you're going to make a promise like that, you need to fund it just like you fund a pension. Or the other way of doing it is to just give the money to the employee directly. There's a defined benefit, which is what a pension is, when you make a promise, or a defined contribution where you give them money like a 401k. The money gets invested, the money grows, the money is available to them, it has their name on it, they leave employment, they could take it with them. But they chose to do neither of these. They did not do a defined benefit where it's recognized as a liability. They did not do a defined contribution where they give the money to the employees. They just created this new benefit with nothing at all behind it. I have no position on the benefit itself. That's the rumor, is that I opposed it. I didn't oppose it. It's not my job to decide what benefits people got. What I do is honestly and accurately report on what is owed to employees. There is misinformation out there that I oppose it. I did not oppose it. I just want it done right. I want to make sure that, one, the employees are protected, and two, that the county is accurately reporting its financial position. On my website, you'll find an open letter to county employees, and I put, just for emphasis, especially SEBA, because that's where the whole thing kind of started. First little part says, I have no opinion, and I have no right to have an opinion about what your benefits are, period, full stop, end of the story. So put that to rest. But for the people who would like to know more details about it, I put second section, details, where I talk about why it's important to either recognize that money is owed to employees or to straight up set aside money for employees when you promise them a benefit that you're not giving them today. When you have a medical benefit, you're getting the benefit now, you're paying for the benefit now, there's no liability there, right? But when you promise somebody something that they're not going to get for 40 years into the future, you're promising them something, but they're not getting it. Where's that money come from? It has to either, one, be set aside, or two, at least recognized, so that hopefully as time goes on, the money will be set aside. If you do neither of those, the benefit will evaporate because there simply is no money behind it. The original SEBA trust, and it's dishonest too. I feel the way they went about it is dishonest. They called it a one-time contribution. They gave them $10 million, which by in itself creates a liability because it creates a promise and an obligation for the future. But they called it a one-time thing. It wasn't a one-time thing. It's never going to be a one-time thing. A few months later, maybe a year later, they got a $2 million loan for the same trust, which baffled everybody. We're all scratching our heads. You know, if you want a loan, you go to a bank. You don't go to a county. And we all kind of laughed because we knew it wasn't going to be paid back, and it didn't get paid back. It wasn't too long after that, maybe a few months later, they got another $8 million. $2 million of it was to pay off the loan that we all knew was never going to be paid off in the first place. So the whole thing to me feels dishonest. I have all the respect for our public safety workers, our firefighters, our police officers, our deputies. I have all the respect in the world for them and believe they deserve their benefits. And that's why I feel the way I feel. If the county, your employer, is going to make a promise to you that you're going to have a benefit when you need it, then there better be money there to fund it, or else you're not going to get the benefit. Because I respect employees and the work they do and the compensation they deserve is why I had a problem with the way it was set up. And I will continue to have a problem until the problem gets resolved. So on my website, in my open letter, I put especially SEBA. I want to mention that I did not mean to single out anybody. That just happened to be the first. And I say the first because now there's 4. Before you know it, there's probably going to be 11 of them. Once one union gets a benefit, they all want it. Now we have the problem I'm describing times 11 different promises, and they're all going in different directions. They all have different promises, and we really don't know what those promises are. They're not sharing them with us, and they have the right to change them midstream whenever they want, which makes it really hard to have any idea what it is we really owe employees, because we don't even know what the promise is. There is another problem in that if one group of employees gets a special benefit, it only seems right that other groups of employees should get something similar. If we're going to pay for these employees' health care benefits after they retire, why would we leave this group out in the cold? Now we have 24,000 people that are all being made this promise with nothing behind it. No dollars, no liability recognized, just a promise. And we don't even know what the promise is. That scares me, should scare you. It's not the right way to do it. Nobody else does it this way. You go on anybody else's financial statements, go to Riverside. We like to look at Riverside a lot. One, because they're our neighbor, and they're similar in size. They have a $400 million OPEB liability on their financial statements. They do have a post-retirement healthcare benefit, which is fine. They recognize it. They have an actuary that comes out and says, promise is worth this much, you've paid in this much, you have $400 million that you haven't paid. It's on the financial statement. At least everybody knows the liability, the promise exists.